Name of the text: Asana, Pranayam, Mudra, Bandha by Swami Satyananda Saraswati. Dedication. Dedication to Swami Shivanand Saraswati, who initiated Swami Satyananda Saraswati into the secrets of yoga. Introduction to Yoga. Yoga is not an ancient myth buried in oblivions. It is the most valuable inheritance of the present. It is the essential need of today and culture of tomorrow by Swami Satyananda Saraswati. Yoga is a science of right living and, as such, is intended to be incorporated in daily life. It works on all aspects of the person: the physical, vital, mental, emotional, psychic, and spiritual. The word yoga means unity or oneness and is derived from the Sanskrit word yuj, which means to join. This unity or joining is described in spiritual terms as the union of individual consciousness with the universal consciousness. On a more practical level, yoga is a means of balancing and harmonizing the body, mind, and emotion. This is done through the practice of asana, pranayam, mudra, bandha, shatkarma, and meditation, and must be achieved before union can take place with the higher reality. The science of yoga begins to work on the outermost aspect of the personality, that is the physical body, which for most people is a practical and familiar starting point. When imbalance is experienced at this level, the organs, muscles, and nerves no longer function in harmony. Rather, they act in opposition to each other. For instance, the endocrine system might become irregular and the efficiency of the nervous system decrease to such an extent that the disease will manifest. Yoga aims at bringing the different bodily functions into a perfect coordination so that they work for the good of the whole body. From the physical body, yoga moves to the mental and then emotional levels. Many people suffer from phobias and neuroses as a result of stress and interaction of everyday living. Yoga cannot provide a cure for life, but it does present a proven method for coping with it. Swami Shivanand Saraswati of Rishikesh explained the yoga as an integration and harmony between thoughts, feelings, and deeds, or in other words, integration between head, heart, and hand. Through the practice of yoga, awareness develops of the irrelation, interrelation between the emotional, mental, and physical levels, and how a disturbance in any one of these affects the other. Gradually, this awareness leads to an understanding of the more subtle areas of existence. There are many branches of yoga, like Raj Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Mantra Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, and Laya Yoga, to name but a few, and many texts explains them in detail. Each individual needs to know which yoga must most suited to his or her particular personality and needs. In the last half of 20th century, Hatha Yoga had become the most well-known and widely practiced of all the systems. However, the concept of what constitutes yoga is broadening as more people take it up and this knowledge is spreading. In the ancient text, Hatha Yoga consists of shatakarmas and cleansing practices only. Today, however, Hatha Yoga commonly embraces the practice of asana, pranayam, mudra, bandha as well. History of Yoga. The yoga we know today was developed as a part of Tantric civilization which existed in India and all over the world more than 10,000 years ago. In the archaeological excavation made in the Indus Valley at Harappa and Mohenjo-daro, now in the modern Pakistan, many statues have been found depicting deities resembling Lord Shiva and Shakti. performing various asanas and practicing meditation. These ruins were once the dwelling place of people who lived in the pre-Vedic age before the Aryan civilization started to flourish in the Indus continent. According to mythical tradition, Shiva is said to be the founder of yoga and Parvati was his first disciple. Lord Shiva is considered to be the symbol or embodiment of the supreme consciousness. Parvati represents supreme knowledge, will and action, and is responsible for all creations. This force or energy is also known as Kundalini Shakti, the cosmic force which lies dormant in all human beings. Parvati is regarded as the mother of whole universe. The individual soul is embedded and bound to the world of names and forms, and also liberated from the bondage of the world and united with the supreme consciousness through her grace. Out of love and compassion for her children, she imparted her secret knowledge of liberation in the form of tantras. The technique of yoga have their source in tantras, and the two cannot be separated. Just as consciousness, that is Lord Shiva, cannot be separated from the energy, that is Devi Shakti. Tantra is the combination of two words, Tanoti and Trayati, which means expansion and liberation respectively. Therefore, it is the science of expanding the consciousness and liberating the energy. Tantra is the way to attain freedom from the bondage of the world while still living in it. The first step in Tantra is to know the limitation and capacity of the body and mind. Next, it prescribes techniques for the expansion of consciousness and the liberation of energy, whereby individual limitations are transcended and a higher reality experienced. Yoga arose at the beginning of human civilization when humankind first realized their spiritual potential and began to evolve techniques to develop it. The yogic science was slowly developed by ancient sages all over the world. The essence of yoga has often been shrouded in and explained by different symbols, analogies, and languages. Some traditions believe that yoga was a divine gift revealed to the ancient sages so that the mankind could have the opportunity to realize its divine nature. In ancient times, yoga techniques were kept secret and were never written down and exposed to the public view. They were passed on from teacher or guru to disciple by word of mouth. In this way, there was a clear understanding of their meaning and aim. Through the personal experience and realized yogis and the sages were able to guide sincere aspirants along the correct path, removing any confusion, misunderstanding, and excessive intellectual contemplation. The first book to refer to yoga were the ancient Tantras and later were the Vedas, which were written about the time of the Indus Valley culture was flourishing. Although they do not give specific practices, they allude to yoga symbolically. In fact, the verses of the Vedas were heard by the rishis, seers in the state of deep yogic meditation or samadhi, and are regarded as the revealed scriptures. It is, however, in the Upanishads that yoga begin to take a more definable shape. These scriptures collectively are known as Vedanta, the culmination of the Vedas, and are said to be contain the essence of the Vedas. Sage Patanjali's treatise on Raja Yoga, that is the Yoga Sutra, codified the first definitive, unified, and comprehensive system of yoga, often known as Eightfolded Path. It comprises of yam, that is self-strain, niyam, self-observance, asana, that is poses, pranayam, forceful respiration and forceful respiration, pratyahar, disassociation of consciousness from the outside environment, dharana, concentration, dhyan, meditation, and samadhi, definition, identification with pure consciousness. In the 6th century BC, Buddha influence brought the ideas of meditation, ethic, and morality to the fore, and the preparatory practices of yoga were ignored. However, Indian thinkers soon realized the limitations of the view. The yogi Matsendranath thought that before taking to the practical of meditation, the body and its elements needed to be purified. He founded the Natha cult and yogic pose Matsendra Asan was named after him. His chief disciple Gokharnath wrote a book on Hatha Yoga in the local dialect and in Hindi. Indian tradition previously required that original text to be written in Sanskrit. In some cases, they clothed with their writings in symbolism so that only those qualified to receive a knowledge would be able to understand it. One of the most understanding authority of Hatha Yoga is Swami Satyananda, wrote the Hatha Yoga Pradipika or Light on Yoga in Sanskrit, collating all extant materials on the subject. In doing so, he reduced the emphasis on yam and niyam, thereby eliminating a great obstacle experienced by many beginners. In the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Swatmaram starts with the body, and only later, when the mind has become stable and balanced, are the yams and niyamas, that is, self control and self discipline, introduced. The relevance of yoga today. Today, in the 21st century, a spiritual heritage is being reclaimed, on which yoga is the very must part. While yoga's central theme remains the highest goal of the spiritual path, yogic practices give direct and tangible benefits to everyone regardless of their spiritual aims. Physical and mental cleansing and strengthening is one of the yoga's most important achievements. What makes it so powerful and effective is the fact that it works on the holistic principles, and effective is the fact that it works on the holistic principle of the harmony and unification. According to the medical scientist, yoga therapy is successful because of the balance created in the nervous system and endocrine system, which directly influences all other systems and organs of the body. For most of the people in the 20th century, yoga was simply means of maintaining healthy and well-being in the increasing stressful society. Asana do remove the physical discomfort accumulated during the day at the office sitting in the chair hunched over the desk. Relaxation techniques helps to maximize the effectiveness of every diminishing lifetime. In an age of mobile phones, internet, and 24 hours shopping, yogic practices make great personal, and even business senses. In the 21st century, beyond the needs of individuals, the underlying principles of yoga provide a real tool to combat social malaise. At a time when the world seems to be at a loss, rejecting past values without being able to establish new ones, yoga provides a means for people to find their own way of connecting with their true self. Through this connection with their real self, it is possible for person or people to manifest harmony in the current age, and for compassion to emerge where hitherto there has been none. In this respect, yoga is far from simply being physical exercise. It is an aim to establish a new perception of what is real, what is necessary, and how to become established in a way of life which embraces both inner and outer realization. This way of life is an experience which cannot be understood intellectually and will be only become living knowledge through the practice and experience. However, the Renaissance has begun.